Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Welcome to Fairfield Today. Nice to have you along here as we have another great week started here and into the new year. We're well into it now, of course, and it's a nice day here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. We appreciate your being with us, and we're downtown in the lobby of our good friends here at Fairfield Federal. Talk about somebody, and it really seemed like it was just a few months ago we talked about the Red Cross. Mm-hmm. Perhaps it was. Yeah. Katie with us, who's the executive director of the American Red Cross, South Central Ohio. Mm-hmm. Office here on Route 33. You're right there, right on the main drag, as we say, right up on the hill there, across from Tim Hortons. Everybody sees your vehicles out front there.
Right out front.
And I was fortunate enough to see you speak at a local organization a couple of weeks ago, and it got me thinking about all the things that Red Cross does. Now, we spoke just a few months ago, but now we're into a new year. As you look back on 2023 with your own office here at Red Cross, pretty busy?
Yes, it has been very busy. We are on a fiscal year, so for us, we're halfway through the year now, and so as of January 1st, it's really that we've got 6 months left. But in this first 6 months, it's been very busy for us. As far as especially as the winter comes on, right? So we're in that winter phase, and people start heating their homes a little bit more. Yeah. Unfortunately, we've seen an increase across our whole chapter, across our region, in fires, in home fires. Yeah, so that's one of the biggest disaster risks in our area, and so we really try to get out, try to educate, promote, and prevent that as much as possible, prevent any loss of life in those situations as much as we can. So it's been rough. Our volunteers did a lot of work over the holidays. They were called out on Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Day. Boy. They've been out helping their neighbors nonstop. So we're very thankful for our volunteers.
So when you go to somebody and you're talking about heaters and additional heaters and things like that, what kind of things do you talk about, like how extension cords work?
Trying to, don't be plugging anything like appliance-wise into an extension cord or anything like that. You want to make sure that it's actually into the wall, making sure that they're staying out away from anything flammable like curtains or any piles of clothing or anything like that, bedding. Just be really mindful of how you're using any kind of space heaters. Don't be trying to use your gas stove or anything like that to heat your home. We know that, times are tough and it's expensive to heat your home, and we understand that, and it's hard. People start engaging in a little bit riskier behavior sometimes in trying to stay warm. We just really want to encourage people to be safe and smart about that, to avoid any kind of
And you say
dangers.
That's the downside of all that. That's up right now. More of that going on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the numbers, I don't know if we have the exact causes of every fire, but the numbers definitely went up as soon as the cold weather set in.
Sure. One thing, I guess, when I think of Red Cross, I guess I always think of blood. I mean, that's always, even as a young person, when you hear about Red Cross goes out in disasters, that thing. But locally here, it was always about blood. As a kid, you don't know all the things they do, but that's still a big deal with the Red Cross. Always will be.
Very big deal. Yes, It's a huge part of our mission and what we do, and it all ties together, right? The more disasters we have, the more that impacts the blood supply, and we've had a lot of disasters over the last year. 2023 was a big year for major disasters, and so therefore drives get interrupted and the blood supply gets affected. And then you have the holiday season and people are busy and they don't go donate, and drives get affected. So we are actually in a national blood appeal as of January 8th. We went into
everywhere it's that.
Yeah. It is a national blood appeal. The supply is at risk, and so we're making a big appeal to people to please donate, especially platelets if you're able to do that, but also just regular blood donation. Absolutely.
Now, how does somebody find out where there are blood drives, or if maybe somebody's viewing us, they're involved in a church somehow, or somehow they want to, because lots of churches do this on a regular basis.
Sure.
Maybe it's every month, maybe it's every couple months, but it's ongoing. But if somebody has a a church they'd like to get involved with that, how would they go about that?
So if somebody wants to help host a blood drive, you can
Okay.
get in touch with me, and I can get you in touch with the proper account manager for blood to do that and get that set up. It's a pretty simple process. You just get a few names of people who might be interested in donating. They don't even have to schedule, but hey, we have enough interest to schedule the drive. And if they have the space, then we're good to go. You know, a lot of churches have those kind of rec rooms and things like that, fellowship halls, whatever you want to call
Sure.
it, where, you know, they have the space for some
Perfect
beds to do a
areas
blood
for
drive.
that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of buildings have those types of, a lot of businesses have rooms like that, conference rooms, things like that, that they might be able to host a blood drive if they're interested and they have enough staff that are interested. So there's a lot of opportunity there. If somebody is interested in donating, you can go to redcrossblood.org and just put in your zip code, and it'll list out all of the blood drives coming up. You can do it by date, like, oh, I'm free on this particular date, I want to go, you know, donate blood. You can look in your local area and see and sign up right there online. Also, we have an app. So there's a blood donor app. If you just download that.
Shocking, you have an app.
Of course we have all kinds of apps too. Like we have apps for disaster, emergency preparedness,
Really?
first aid. We have all kinds
Very
of
neat
great,
specific.
very specific. There's a whole suite of Red Cross apps, but the blood app is where you can go and you can sign up. And what's really neat about that is it also will tell you where your donation went to help somebody.
Really?
Yeah. So you know, say you know, went to Michigan to save someone's life there. It'll tell you that. So it's really neat because the different labs do different things. So our blood here in Ohio might go to our lab, but we process it in a particular way, and then that blood product is needed somewhere else. But then Michigan's lab, right, does something different, and then we need that blood. So there's a lot of crossing, but you're saving lives, and it's great, and it's really neat the way we're all connected like that. And you know, a specialized blood that might be needed from this person because they have a particular disease, well, somebody over here has that, and that's why we don't try to limit it. You know, like some people are like, oh, well, does the blood stay here? Well, no, the blood doesn't always stay right in your local area because it's needed. Your special type of blood is best for this person over here who had an emergency and needed it. So yeah, that's how we do that.
I heard a PSA that the Red Cross was running on a commercial. I've heard it several times, and somebody said they never thought about giving blood. It never crossed their mind until they needed blood.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it dawned on them, had that not been there,
Yeah.
it might not have gone so well for me.
Right. We hear it all the time, and it's the blood that's already on the shelf that saves someone's life. And we can't stockpile it. It only lasts so long, right? It only has so long of a shelf life, so many days. And so that's why there's the constant need for that.
I guess that's ongoing. I think when you talk about natural disasters, gosh, I think the only one that comes to mind immediately is that horrible thing over in Hawaii a few months ago. That was pretty devastating over there, and I'm sure those people are nowhere near the recovery area. Red Cross is probably right on top of that.
We're still there. Absolutely. We're still there. We still get updates on Hawaii frequently, actually, and we've got people on what we call virtual deployments helping with that recovery process, but also people still on the ground.
I'm surprised you didn't say you would volunteer to give of your time in Hawaii.
I mean, I would have. So there's
what a girl.
They just didn't call me, right? Because there's certain positions that people do, and the position that I, as an executive director, there's something called an elected official liaison. That's what I would do. But I'm also brand new to the Red Cross, so for a big one like Hawaii, they weren't going to call me.
You're not going to be on the top of that list.
I'm not going to be on the top of the list, no.
And another thing I know that Red Cross does, and you talked about it at the meeting the other day, we talk about, and maybe there are other people that work that out, but it's swimming pools, lifeguards. That's I've always known it to be, you had to be a Red Cross accreditation. Are you the only folks that do that, or is there anybody else?
You know, I don't know if we're the only ones that do it, but we're certainly well known for it.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. I think we train a lot of lifeguards and do a lot of swimming courses. And we partner with a lot of local organizations to do that. Like I said, with the other organization I was speaking at, the YMCA does a lot of our training curriculum.
That's a good tie-in right there. Yep. And then also, I think, and maybe I even asked you about it at your meeting, these new devices, and I don't know what that necessarily stands for, but I think it's AED. These are these devices you see in almost every public building anymore. It used to be a few. You saw one at the Y, maybe, and you saw one, but now almost all churches have them. Yeah. Almost all public buildings that have more than just a few people in them. You folks train people on how to use that.
Yes, absolutely. So usually when you sign up for our just general CPR, first aid, AED is included in that.
Okay.
So most of the time they're going to teach you how to use an AED in most CPR classes as well, just because that's going to be the most effective way to get that person's heart going again while you're waiting for help to arrive.
I know they used to have, I don't know if you still teach classes like that where they had these little dummies where you come in and you taught CPR. Is that still
absolutely.
Is that still a way you do it?
It is still the way we do it.
It's not outlived its life.
No,
Nope.
We still use the things. They're pretty neat. You know, when you go to do the mouth-to-mouth CPR and give breaths, the chest rises so that you can know that you're doing it right and things like that. So it's all done that same way. That's the most effective way.
We had a member of our family. She's actually she says save lives, and maybe that's certainly the case, but she's had to do CPR twice on people like in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So you never know.
You never know when you're going to be that person in that right exact time, and so that's what you can nominate somebody for a life-saving award through the Red Cross if they've used their skills to do that, so they can get recognized. But what's funny, we don't have a way to track it of how many lives have actually been saved through this training, but we just know, we keep track of how many people are trained, right? And it's that much more prevalent. Hopefully there's somebody in the room that's Red Cross trained that can save a life.
I mean, if you're that person that's choking, you sure hope
there's someone in the room.
has that skill. And again, great job on the Red Cross. They're like other places in the community that you think about them as blood, but
one particular thing, or I had a fire and they helped us out, or and so they a lot of people don't get the full picture.
So you're South Central Ohio. What exactly is your territory?
So I've got 10 counties.
Includes,
wow. Includes Fairfield, Athens, Ross, Fayette, Pickaway, Hawking, Vinton, Clinton, Adams.
Oh my, you're down on the
Highland.
river now.
Highland.
Adams County.
Yes,
you're
all the way down to the river.
So it's not just counties contiguous to Fairfield.
It starts at Fairfield as the most northernmost county I have, and it goes kind of like a little C shape. Yeah.
So when you talk about the needs of Red Cross over Fairfield County, those probably multiply. All those counties are in the same boat.
In our territory last year, in a fiscal year, we did 192 disaster responses across the 10 counties, and 175 of those were fires.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So if someone wants more information on anything we've discussed, how do they look that up?
Well, you can go to redcross.org. It's a great resource, lots of information. You can type in, like I said, your zip code and kind of set your area to our area, which is the Central and Southern Ohio region, to get a little more detailed information for us locally. But you can also just reach out to me. My email is kathleen.uhl@redcross.org.
Well, Kathleen.Uhl, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Katie Uhl, American Red Cross Executive Director here. One of the great, again, there are so many great organizations, but one of them is Red Cross. If you know that you're donating to Red Cross, you know that it's going for the services that are needed, because there are so many. All right, Katie, thank you for joining us. A lot of good information. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652 Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
I moved here after a decade in New York City, just craving nature, the outdoors, my Midwestern, childhood, everything about this place. And I was so happy to find how this county has grown and expanded, and they're being addressed. There's so many agencies. They work so well together, and it's just amazing.
All of the different companies and nonprofit organizations seem to be in tune with each other, whereas in other counties, I know it's a lot of the businesses are just one-on-one, but in Fairfield County, I feel like all of them kind of piggyback off of each other, and they really help each other out to get everyone the most help that they need.
You can really make an impact in the community and notice it, and especially in Fairfield County, there's a lot of really exciting things happening. So a lot of forward-thinking, innovative ideas and programs is a big bonus to working in Fairfield County.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
We here at Fairfield ED wish you a happy new year. March is right around the corner, and with it comes Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. This year, Fairfield ED is excited to share that we will have a variety of events to mark this important month. Our 14th annual Celebration of Possibilities will be held on Wednesday, March 20th at 6 p.m. at the Wigwam Event Center in Pickerington. So save the date. Join our mailing list or follow our social media so you can stay up to date on all the happenings.